Hello, welcome back to my channel. I thought I would try something a little different today. I've been playing Payoff pitch baseball about a couple weeks and really enjoying it. The game engine is a whole lot like baseball to me. So I've been started the 1969 replay, and I'm doing the Cincinnati Reds in the National League and the Baltimore Orioles in the American League. The Reds ended up third that year. The Orioles obviously were an excellent team and got beat by the Mets in the World Series. So I figured either way, I should make the playoffs between those two teams and get a good feel for 1969. 1969 was the year I was born, so I thought that would be a good place to start. Also, the year they started divisional play, which is the baseball that I grew up with the American League East and West and the National League East and West. So, let's get started.
Replay Radio is live from Baltimore. Top of the first.
So let me see if I can turn the volume down a little, maybe. That will let me. Okay. So today, pitching, I'm not as familiar with 1969 baseball as I am with like the early 50s or the 80s. So some of these names I might miss. So feel free to help me out in the comment section if I miss one. So Mike Cuellar is starting for the Orioles, and Reggie Smith will lead off for the Red Sox. So my rule is if it makes it into the pan, it counts, even if it don't go through the tumbler. So that's a 9. So that's tough. 96 on lefty, tough. That's going to be in the out section, and that's going to be a fly out to Frank Robinson. And there is one away. Reggie Smith had a whale of a game. The first game we played against the Red Sox, we won 6-4. Reggie Smith had a great game. However, so that will bring up the second baseman for the Red Sox, Mike Andrews. He was 0 for 5 in yesterday's game. Actually, day before yesterday, they had an off day. And another one fall out. Okay, so we have a rare play, because the 10-sided dice equaled 0, and so 5 with the bases empty. Line drive single hits the pitcher, checked for injury. So I'm not doing injuries because on this particular replay I'm doing as played lineups. So that would just be an infield single for Mike Andrews. I'm doing the automated base stealing. So he is 2, and the dice roll was 5. According to the rules, you use the last 2 D6s. Sometimes I don't do that on certain things, but on that I do. So he doesn't get a lead. So that will bring up Carl Yastrzemski, who was 0 for 3 in yesterday's game with a walk. One thing I would like to figure out is I do like the automated sacrifice hits most of the time, and most of the time the automated stolen bases. I would like to figure out how to do an automated hit and run, but I haven't worked that out yet. So, but with Mike Andrews being a D stealer, we'll let Yastrzemski just hit away here. So that's a defense. Now I am using the fast action cards for the defense thing. So it says we're going to check the error for the right fielder. So Frank Robinson, his E rating is 3. And so we will roll against the Baltimore card. I roll on most things, but so E3, so 1 through 38, it's an error. So he gets a 74, so he makes the out. And then I'll do the card for the out. So the out to the outfielder is a deep fly. So Yastrzemski gives it a ride, but Frank Robinson is able to run it down and not make an error. So that's 2 away. Frank Robinson has been a busy man. So that brings up Ken Harrelson, who spent most of his season in 1969 with Cleveland, but he starts out with the Red Sox here. So he had a hit in 4 at-bats yesterday. So 7 is a tough out, so that's automatically an out. So, but he rolled a 90 on the 10s. So 90 on tough, that would be a fly out to left field. And Mike Cuellar gets out of the first without too much difficulty. Fly out 7. I always like keeping score. I use Bob Carpenter's scorebooks. If you don't know about those, check him out. I use them for every game. Replay, History Maker, Stratomatic. It doesn't matter which game I play. I use these for my scorecard. Alrighty. We go to the bottom of the first. Don Buford will lead it off. He was 0 for 3 with a walk in the first game of the year, so he's batting 0. So 5 is Ballpark, 63. Memorial Stadium is not a hitter's ballpark, at least in the home run area here. So he got a 63, so that's just going to be an in play. So Buford in play against righty pitchers. We got a 47, so that's going to be in the out range, and he bounces out to George Scott at third base. 1 away. And that brings up Paul Blair. He was 1 for 4 yesterday, or first game, with 2 RBIs. So that's a 5, which is Ballpark. And that's going to be an 08, so that's going to be in the wheelhouse. So we will re-roll. So he's got a really good chance of something good here. 26, and that is a home run. I use on like singles and doubles, you can use the fax action cards or the charts to tell you where it was hit and what kind of hit. They don't do that for triples and home runs. So what I do is just check the double. So that's a deep drive to center field. So I just say he homered to center field. So he got all of that one. That will be the first home run of the year for Paul Blair. Yeah, this Oriole team, the Reds, so far, they started out with the Dodgers, and they're 1-1. Had a really good comeback from behind win against Don Sutton in their second game. This Oriole team, they are really good. So it'll be interesting to see how they do, because they've got pitching and hitting. They just are a very good team. Blair hit home run number 1. And the Orioles are up 1-0. So Frank Robinson is up. He had a home run in yesterday's game, or the first game rather. So that's tough, 22 against a righty, and he will go down. If the two D6s are even, I say he went down swinging. If they're odd, I say he goes down looking. So, it's, again, just it kind of helps for me to put it in my mind's eye. So if he's swinging, I just put a line underneath the K. So Ray Culp gets Robinson to strike out swinging, and that brings up Boog Powell. Boog was 0 for 4 in the first game of the season. So that's tough, 19. And that will be a strikeout, and that's even. So he is struck out swinging. So the Orioles get a run on one base and one hit, no errors, nobody left. After one inning, 1-0 Baltimore. So Mike Cuellar will start off with Tony Conigliaro. I keep wanting to make that Conigliaro, but it's Conigliaro. He was 0 for 4 with a strikeout against Dave McNally yesterday. Now you'll notice there on the 30, I put a little black dot. That's my way of remembering the wild pitch. It works great for me because when I see that, it reminds me. So I'm getting in the habit of it, but that just works great for me. So anyway, 8 is in play. 32 in play versus the lefty will be in his out range, and he pops out to 3. Now, they don't have foul outs, so if it's a first baseman or the third baseman, I figure there's a 50-50 chance that it's fair or foul. So 1, 2, 3 is foul, 4 through 6 is fair. So that's a fair ball. And Conigliaro pops out to Boog Powell at first base for the first out of the top of the second. So he pops out 3. And that brings up George Scott, who was 1 for 4 with a strikeout in the first game. The Red Sox have the same lineup as they had on opening day. So that's in play 11. And that is going to be a single. And that's a soft blooper into short left field. So he didn't get all of that one, but he got enough of it to get it out past the shortstop. George Scott singles. His jump rating is 3, and we got a 6, so he didn't get a jump. So he won't try to steal. Rico Petrocelli, who had a heck of a year this year, is up. Let's see. George Scott on first base is a C Steeler, so let's try the hit and run. See what they can muster up here. So that's a 6. That's an in play. 64. So that's going to be out of his range. A 64 is a ground ball to second base. On a ground ball, his double play rating goes down to 4. So Cuellar's is a 9. Petrocelli's is a 6, but we'll say that's a 4, so I re-roll for that. I think you're supposed to use what was there, but I always re-roll for that one. So that's an 8. So that's supposed to be a fielder's choice. Typically on a regular double play opportunity, 11 and 12 on the 2D6 is a ground out, the runner advances. Obviously with a hit and run, I give it a little bit more. I say 9 to 12. But with that being an 8, so he hit it hard enough to the second baseman that they were able to get Scott going to second, even though he was running with the pitch. So that's 4 to 6. Scott is out at second. And Petrocelli is on first with a fielder's choice, and he is a 3 on his jump rating, and we've got an 8 laying there. So he doesn't get a jump to try to steal. And Russ Gibson, the Boston catcher, he had a couple hits in the first game of the year. 9 is tough. 41 against a lefty is going to be out in the out range. So 41, he bounces it to Robinson, and he throws him out at first base. He's out 5-3 for out number 3. So the Red Sox get no runs on 1 base hit, no errors, and have left their second runner on. So we go to the bottom of the second here in Baltimore. Beautiful Memorial Stadium. Brooks Robinson will be up. He had a hit and 2 RBIs in the Orioles 6-4 win on opening day. 5 is ballpark. 39 righty. That's going to be in play here in beautiful Baltimore. So in play versus righty. That's a 93. And that's going to be in the out range. So he flies out to Yastrzemski and left field. 1 away. Ellie Hendricks, who didn't start on day 1, is getting the start today. Got an 8. That's tough on Culp. 40 on tough against a righty is going to be a single. I always hate that. I know sometimes a pitcher can throw their best pitch, but it seems to me like that happens a lot. But so let's see what kind of hit it is. So that's a ball blooped into right field. So he's able to pull it, and he doesn't get a lot of it, but he gets enough of it. So Ellie Hendricks is on first base with a 1-out single. So his jump rating is 2, and we got an 8 there, so he is not going to go anywhere. And Davey Johnson will step to the plate. Now, Ellie Hendricks is an F stealer, so he's probably not the best candidate for hitting runs. However, Davey Johnson only struck out 52 times and over 500 at bats, so he doesn't strike out much. Crap. Dropped my dice. At least it didn't roll all the way under the table like it normally does. All right, so Davey Johnson, we're going to try the hit and run here. We are the Orioles after all. So that's Patient, 18 versus righty, so that's a walk. But as I understand it on the hit and run, if the batter, let's see, I believe if the batter strikes out, lead runner must attempt stolen base. All double plays. All runners advance an extra base on hits. All lineouts are double plays. It doesn't say anything about that. Okay, it does say, however, if you get in the patient area that you use the chart. So we did that, and so that's 18 on patient is a single with 2 stars. So I believe I did that correct. So on the hit, so the hit and run works. Let's see what kind of single it was. It's a ball blooped into right field, so Davey Johnson's able to hit it over Mike Andrews' head, and Hendricks will dig into third with runners on first and third and 1 out. So the hit and run works. I thought I had read somewhere that if there was a walk, that you must attempt a stolen base, but here on the hit and run chart, it's not saying that, but it does say that if you get in the wheelhouse or patient, which we did, then you use this chart. And so he rolled an 18, and so that's how I came up with that. So I believe that's accurate. Again, if I'm missing something, feel free to say so in the comments. I do enjoy this game a lot and have played quite a bit of it the last couple weeks, but obviously I'm still new to it. So Mark Bellinger will come up. So obviously this is 69 before DH, so the pitcher's up after him. I'm not a big fan of the designated hitter. Matter of fact, I don't like it at all, but that's just me. So Bellinger's up, so looks like the Red Sox are going to play at double play depth. They're going to try to get the double play. Mark Bellinger is a 6 double play rating. Phelps is an 8, so we need a 6 here. So we're going to let him hit away. So that's a 7 in play, 09 in play, and that's going to be a single. So that's a line drive into center field. The runner on first goes one base. Runner on second, which there isn't, would go one base. Okay. They don't have infield singles in this game. So I actually have a rule that when there's a single and you've got one base advancement on both the first runners on first and runners on second, that's an opportunity for an infield single. So what I do is I base it on their run rating and then the single digit. So he runs 7. So I say if it's under 7 or under, that he gets an infield single. If it's over that, then I say that it was what it says on the card. So he got a 9, so that will actually be a single into left or to center field. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing. It's just if you're going to do how the singles are distributed, it doesn't make sense not to have any infield singles. They might be some on the rare play chart, but when you hit the pitcher, but I believe there's more than that in the game, in the real game. So that's kind of how I tack that in. So Hendricks will score. Dave Johnson goes to second, and Mark Bellinger has driven in his second run of the season, and the Orioles are up 2-0. So that'll bring up Mike Cuellar. He is a 3 hitter, which isn't great. So I could try to bunt here. Looks like they're not going to bring the infield in or anything. You see, he's a D bunter, which isn't great. I'm going to let him try to bunt anyway. So on the bunt, you do the 2 10s and one of these to see who gets it. So we rolled a 2, so that will be to the catcher, and he rolled an 87 on a D, and he barely makes it. So he's able to get it down just barely and advance the runners. So that's a sacrifice to the catcher. So Davey Johnson is on third. Mark Bellinger takes to second. Sack bunt for Cuellar. 2-4. We'll say the second baseman was covered. So that brings up Don Buford with runners on second and third. He grounded out to George Scott to lead off the first inning. He's yet to have a hit this season. So it's 3 patient, 77. Wow, he's got hit by a pitch. His patient goes all the way to 77. So he is plunked. At first base open. So the Orioles have loaded the bases. Ray Culp trying to get out of this one. So he's got Paul Blair, who hit a home run, solo shot, his first of the year, with the bases loaded. See if he can get out of this one. Ray Culp had a decent year, 17-8 with a 3.81 ERA in real life. So that's a 5. That's not good. Ballpark 19. That is in wheelhouse. So Paul Blair against the righty has got a good chance of a grand slam here. 48, and it's gone. So again, I do the double, a line drive into the alley and center, so that'd be a left center field grand slam. So the Orioles go up 6-0. As Paul Blair hits his second home run of the game. And consequently of the year. So, according to the rules, Ray Culp is tired now. If you give up 6 runs, irregardless of what your fatigue is 8, but he's given up 6 runs already. So let's see what they have in the bullpen here. So they need a long reliever. So Sparky Lyle is their main guy. I don't think they want to use him here. Vincent Romo is pretty good. Bill Landis is long, so let's use him. So he will be in for Culp, who departs very early. So Bill Landis, this will be his first appearance of the year. He's a lefty. So with 2 outs, Frank Robinson is up. He struck out swinging back in the first. That's a 10. That's ballpark 71. That will be in the in play section. So we will re-roll here on lefties. That's a 42. I just missed it. Needed a 36. So that's a ground ball to third. And then I just used the decider die to see if it was unassisted. So unassisted, yes. So Frank Robinson bounces it up to Ken Harrelson. And finally, the Red Sox are out of the inning. So 3 unassisted for out number 3. 5 runs on 1, 2, 3, 4 base hits. There were no errors and nobody left on base. After 2 innings, the Orioles are up 6-0. Cuellar will be up. We got the pitcher up first. So we're going to let Landis hit here. He is a 1-hitter. So we need to get a different pitcher hitting card. 1 is the worst. But they're going to need some relief pitching this game. So we don't want to take him out of the game already. So Bill Landis, he had 11 at-bats in real life with no hits. 6 is in play. 91 for a 1 is going to be a fly ball to Buford in left field. He settles under it, 1 away. So Reggie Smith, who he flied out in the first inning. He had 3 hits yesterday with a home run and 4 RBI. So he knocked in all 4 of the Red Sox runs in Game 1. So that's defense. So again, I don't use the roll. I use the cards for that. So the defense, we're going to do an error check on the third baseman. Brooks Robinson is a 4. So we will look here at Baltimore's card. So on a 4, it's 1 to 30 is an error. And 31 to 90 is a out. So we rolled 0. So we do the defense rare play on this one. So that's a 9. So outfielder camps under a high fly ball, but it pops out of his base for a 2-base error. Runners advance 2 bases. If it's the catcher, pitcher, or infield, catches easy pop fly. All right, so it was to Brooks Robinson at third. So he makes the fly. And again, 1, 2 to 3, it's foul. And it's fair. So no error. Pop out to Brooks Robinson, and that's 2 away. So Reggie Smith pops out to Robinson at third. And with 2 away, Mike Andrews, who had his first hit of the year back in the first, but was left there. So that's an 8, which is in play. 73 in play against lefties is in his out range. And that's a fly ball to center field. Blair reaches up and puts it away. And the Red Sox go down 1, 2, 3. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. Go to the bottom of the third, and it is 6-0 Baltimore. Well, this looks like it's not going to be a great, exciting game unless you're an Oriole fan. So Boog Powell, who struck out swinging, will lead off the third inning here. So that's a 7. That's patient. 86 against the lefty is going to be in his out range. 86 is a ground ball to second base. Andrew scoots over, snags it, and throws on to Harrelson. 1 out. Brooks Robinson flied out to Yastrzemski in his first at bat. 6 is tough. 53 tough against lefty is in his out range. So 53 is a fly ball to right field. Brooks Robinson goes the other way. Tony Conigliero snags it for out number 2. Ellie Hendricks singled in his first at-bat of the year and scored. He was on third base when Paul Blair blasted a grand slam to left center field. So that's a 3. That's defense. So again, we will check the card here. That's an error on the second baseman. Andrews, his error rating is 2. So we will look at our memorial card here. So as you can see, 2 is more likely to do an error. So 43, he does make an error. And let's see what kind of an error he made. On the infield, he made a 2-base error. So it looks like he made the play but threw the ball away. And Hendricks will race into second with a 2-base error. So that's an error. The batter is at second. Second baseman made the error. So 2 outs. Ellie Hendricks on second base. 124. Check that's Andrews' second error of the season. Put that in the book. So it's E number 2. And that brings up Davy Johnson, who singled and scored last inning. Ellie Johnson is an 2F. I don't think he's going to try to steal third, so we'll ignore that. So that's a wheelhouse for Davy Johnson, but unfortunately that's an 85. So against lefties, that's a ground ball to shortstop. Petrocelli will grab it and throw on to Ken Harrelson. And Bill Landis is able to keep Baltimore from scoring again. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 runner left. And after 3, it's 6-0 Baltimore. So Mike Cuellar will lead off the top of the 4th with Carl Yastrzemski. Carl Yastrzemski is 0 for 4 on the year. He flied out to right field in his first at bat. So that's a defense, so we will check that. So that's going to be an error check on the shortstop. Bellinger is at 2, which is a lot of errors. So 1-51, and he makes an error. 95, so he makes the play. Let's see what. So that's an out, and the out. That's a ground ball. Sometimes it could be a pop out or other things. So he grounds out. Bellinger makes the play, and there's 1 away here in the top of the 4th. I guess I could just leave that there. Put it there. All right, Ken Harrelson, he flied out to Buford in left field in the first inning for the 3rd out. So we got a 3. That's a defense again. So that would be a range check on the center fielder. Blair is an A. So you see here, we've got a pretty good chance of getting to it. 1-24, and it's a hit. So that's a 47. So he makes the play, and the out on center field is a deep fly. So Harrelson gives it a ride, but Blair is able to track it down, and that's a good play. So those are the kind of plays that I envision when it's a defense check and they get to it, that it was a good play. So Blair tracks that down to save possible extra base hit. And Tony Conigliero, he popped out to Boog Powell to lead off the 2nd. So he's up here with 2 outs. So that's an 11, so that's a ballpark, and we have a 0-1, so that's going to be in the wheelhouse, as you can see, for righties. So Conigliaro has a good chance here of taking Cuellar deep. 86, oh, he gets his pitch, but he just misses it. 86, that's going to be a ground ball to short. So he hits it hard, but right at Bellinger, and he missed his pitch there. That's one thing I like about this game, is that those kind of things help you to see, like, inside the game. It's not just a result, but he threw a good pitch, or a bad pitch rather. I mean, he put it in his wheelhouse, and yet Conigliaro wasn't able to do anything with it, and that's obviously the way real baseball is. Guys will get a great pitch and just can't do anything with it. And then other times they'll take a great pitch and bloop it for a hit that wins the game. So that's, kind of part of the game, which I enjoy. So, again, this is real enjoyable. I've played, a lot of different games, but using the replay baseball computer game, which is by far the best in my opinion, to put in the stats, and that's working out really good. So Cuellar is able to hold the Red Sox. He still has his shutout going. So when you have long fatigue, that means you can go 3 innings or give up 3 runs. And you're supposed to, even if they come in for 1 out or 1 batter, that counts as an inning. So far, Landis has done 2 innings then, because he pitched to 1 batter in the second. So he's got 1 more inning without being fatigued, and he will start off with Mark Bellinger. Mark Bellinger singled in a run and then scored on Blair's grand slam in the second inning. So he's 5 for 3 early on in the year with 2 RBIs. So 8 is patient. 94 versus the lefty is going to be a fly ball to Yastrzemski in left field. 1 out. So Mike Cuellar will step to the plate. He is a 3-hitter. I'll put that here just to make sure I don't forget. When there's 2 columns, I want to do left and right, so I have to make sure I remember that it's on the 3, not the 4, regardless of who's pitching. So he had a sacrifice bunt in his first at bat. So that's a 9. So that's in play. 66 will be a ground ball to second base. Andrews throws him out for 2 outs. Don Buford has bounced out to third and walked and scored. That's a 4 in play, 07, and that's going to be that's against a lefty. It's actually going to be a single, and that's a long single into the gap in left center field. Reggie Smith races over and is able to hold Buford to a single. So his is a 4D, and we see here he's got a 4. But with us went ahead 6-0, I'm going to override that. Earl Weaver is not going to rub it in against Dick Williams and the Red Sox. So Paul Blair will step to the plate with 2 outs. He has only homered twice with 5 RBIs. Which gives him 7 for the season. He had 2 RBIs in the first game, so that's not too bad. 7 RBIs in 2 games. So that's a 7. That's a patient. Oh, we got a 30 there. So, but his wild pitch rating is only 30, so 38 won't count. So 7 is patient. 38 versus the lefty. So that's going to be another hit for Paul Blair. So he singles. It's a sharp liner that drops in front of the left fielder. It says runner on first, advances 1 base. Now with 2 outs, and if you have over a 6 run rating, you're supposed to go to third. But on that one, when it's a sharp liner that drops in front of the left fielder, I'm going to say he holds up at second. So the Orioles have runners on first and second and 2 out. And Frank Robinson will look to add further damage. He has struck out and bounced out to Ken Harrelson at first so far. So that's a 10. That's a ballpark 59. So that's going to be in play for Robinson because, again, Baltimore is not a hitter's park, at least this year. So 74 in play against the lefty. He pops it up to center field. Reggie Smith takes it in. And Bill Landis does a good job of holding the Orioles to see if the Red Sox can catch up. No runs on 2 base hits, no errors, 2 runners left on, and after 4, it is still 6-0. So hopefully they can get to the pitcher's spot, because Landis is going to be tired next inning, or fatigued, as this game calls it. So George Scott had an infield single. He bounced it off Cuellar. So that's a 6. That's an in play 13 against the lefty, and that will be a single. That's a soft blooper into short left field. So he didn't hit it hard, but enough to get over the shortstop. So George Scott leads off the 5th inning here with a single for the Red Sox. See, his steal rating is a 3, and we only got a 6. But with a 6-run deficit, I don't think they're going to try to steal right now. So Rico Petrocelli, dangerous hitter, hit 40 home runs in real life. Just looking to see if he can do some damage. He bounced out to second on a fielder's choice, his first at bat. 5 is tough. 7 and 7 on lefty, and Petrocelli strikes out looking. Big strikeout for Cuellar. 1 away. Wes Gibson, 0 for 1. And as I understand it, when you do the automated stealing, you only check the jump when they first get on base. You don't do it after every batter. I think option 3, you do it after every batter, but not this one. So that's an 11. So that's ballpark 42. And so that's going to be in play and not wheelhouse. So in play for Gibson. 26. Oh, he just missed it. Needed a 25. So 26 is a ground ball to third. His double play rating is 7. Cuellar's is 9, so we need a 7 here. Will be a double play. And it is. 3-6-3 double play. 3-6-3 double play for out number 3. So they weren't able to get to the pitcher. So no runs on a hit. Nobody left on. So Landis is tired, so we might do a double switch here. Let's see what we got. Oh, hang on a second. I didn't put that into my computer version here. That's a 3-6-3. All right, so Landis is pooped. He's gone 2 1/3. Let's give Billy a shot, and then actually going to do a double switch here. So we'll put Bill Lee, and then let's see their catchers. We got George Thomas, who can catch, and Moses. Jerry Moses can catch. So let's bring in Jerry Moses. So we'll put Moses in the 9th spot. And then we'll put Bill Lee, young 23-year-old. Oh, Bill Lee's not available on the roster right now, so we won't use Bill Lee. On the replay computer, it's got the 25-man roster, so I didn't check that out. So we're actually going to have to find a different pitcher. Looks like we could use Jarvis. He pitched one game, so we'll put him there. Moses at catcher and confirm. Okay. So he pitched one inning in yesterday's game. Ray Jarvis did. Or not yesterday's, but the first game. Find his card. All right. So he will lead off against Boog Powell, or Boog Powell will lead off against him. Boog Powell is 0 for 2 so far today. That's an 8. 8 will be in play, but that's a 95. So that's going to be a fly ball to right field. Conigliero races under it. One away. Brooks Robinson is flied out twice. Once to left and once to right field. So that's an in-play 94. And he flies it out to Yastrzemski. Yastrzemski races over and puts it away for 2 away. Ellie Hendricks has singled and reached on Mike Andrews' second error of the year. It was a 2-base error. So 4 is tough. 21. And that's even, so Hendricks strikes out swinging. And Ray Jarvis is able to retire the Orioles in order here in the 5th. And we head to the top of the 6th inning, still 6-0 Baltimore. So Cuellar is pitching quite a game today. So he will lead off against Jerry Moses, who is catching now. This will be Jerry Moses' first at bat of the season. Gotta find his card. He hit .304 and 135 at bats in real life with 4 home runs. 7, that's a tough out. So, but that's an 0-2, so that's a 7. So he strikes out looking. That's just the second strikeout of today for Cuellar. There's 1 away. Reggie Smith, who had a great game. Number 1, but so far is 0 for 2 today. 9 is tough. 42 versus lefty, and that's going to be a triple. So again, I used the double. So lined into left center. So that's, he hits it into left center, and Blair and Buford aren't able to get to it. And Reggie Smith races into third, slides, and is safe. So Reggie Smith's 1969 season is off to a good start. I think that's his second. That may be his second triple. It is. He had a triple in the first game of the season. Triple number 2. So obviously the Orioles will play back conceding the run to get the out. Mike Andrews is 1 for 2 today. That's a 3. That's a defense. So that would be an error check on the shortstop. Bellinger is a 2. So again, 1 to 51 is an error. So that is a 36. So he makes the error. Let's see what kind of error he makes. Just one base. So he boots the ball, allowing Smith to score. So it's an E6. And the Red Sox are on the board. I believe that's Bellinger's first error of the year. Yep. So Bellinger makes his first. It's got to be green. Makes his first error in 1969. Mike Andrews is a 2D stealer. We got a 5, so he's not going to go anywhere. Even with this deficit, he probably wouldn't have gone if he had got a lead. So Carl Yastrzemski will step up. He's flied out and grounded out. 5 is tough. 92. So that will be a fly ball to right field. Robinson sprints over. Makes the one-handed catch. And that is out number 2. Ken Harrelson is flied out twice. That's a 5 tough, 70 against a lefty. And he hits it to center field. Blair makes the grab. So the Red Sox get a run on one base hit, one error, and they leave one runner on. And we go to the bottom of the 6th, and the Red Sox are on the board, still behind 6-1. So Jarvis will be looking to do his second. His fatigue is long, so he's got 3 innings before he gets tired, or 3 runs. He will start off with the bottom of the lineup, of the Baltimore lineup. Davey Johnson is singled and grounded out. 7 is in play, 39. And that will be a ground ball to first base. And it's unassisted. Harrelson will take it to the bag himself. So the Red Sox pitching has done pretty good, except for the grand slam. Mark Bellinger has singled in a run, scored, and flied out. So that's a 7. That's in play. 18, and that will be a single for Bellinger. Hard grounder into left field. Okay, now this is the one where you've got everybody advances just one base, so that's a possible infield single. So he's an 8. He runs a 7, so it's not an infield single. And I might fine-tune that rule. It's just something I do to get some infield singles. So he singles, and that brings up Cuellar. It's a hard grounder between Petrocelli and Scott. Mike Cuellar sacrificed and bounced out. I'm going to let him hit away this time. 3 is defense. So we are going to check the range of the second baseman. Mike Andrews is a B. So we'll see there what we got. So 1 to 34 is a hit. He gets a 35. Oh. So let's see what kind of out he made. And he pops it out. So it's a pop out to Andrews, and there's a 1 out of 6 that it's a foul. And it's a 2, so it's fair. So he pops it up. Andrews calls for it. Makes the out. So there's 2 outs. And Don Buford, who's grounded out, walked and singled. So that's an 8. That's in play. 74 will be a fly out to center field. So Reggie Smith takes it. And Jarvis gets the 3rd out of the inning. Oh, hang on a second here. So Cuellar, I forgot to put in Cuellar's pop out. So he popped out to second. And Buford flied out to center. No runs on a hit. No errors. 1 runner left. 6-1 Orioles. So Mike Cuellar's fatigue is 8. But obviously, according to the rules, if he hasn't given up 3 runs, that he can go as long as he can. So Conigliero is 0 for 3. Or 0 for 2 rather. 6 is in play. 0-4. 0-4. That's going to be a double. So that's a line shot that splits the gap in left center field. Blair runs it down and throws it back into second. And Tony Conigliaro rather is in with a stand-up double. That's Conigliaro's first double of the season. George Scott is 2 for 2 today. Twelve is Wheelhouse. 67. Ooh, he had all the way up to 63. So 67 is a ground ball to second base. And Conigliaro will make it to third on that one. So Scott advances the runner for what that's worth. Right now I think they need base runners at 6-1 deficit. Petrocelli, he's 0 for 2, 0 for 6 on the season so far. Looking for his first hit of the year. He's patient, 77 versus a lefty. That will be a fly out to center field. And on a fly out, patient, the runner can try to score. Do you want to chance it? See, Blair's arm is a 6. Conigliaro runs 6. Yeah, they're going to hold up. They're not going to test Blair's arm. That 1 run's not going to do a lot for him. So that's a fly out to center field. Conigliaro holds. So we got the pitcher, Ray Jarvis. So he's a 1 batter. So do you pinch hit here? About got to. So like we got Cuellar's the lefty. Let's bring in Dick Schofield to pinch hit. Schofield had one. He pinched hit in game number 1 and was out, didn't get a hit. So that's a switch hitter. Who Schofield's pretty good against lefties. Pinch hit. Alrighty. Conigliero at third base, 2 away. Five is tough. 80 and tough against a lefty. And he flies out to center field, so he's not able to get the job done. Red Sox waste the leadoff double by Tony Conigliaro. 1 hit, 1 runner left. So let's see who the Red Sox can bring in to pitch. Let's bring in Lee. Is it Stange? Stangy? Again, some of these players I haven't heard of. I'm a big baseball guy, but some of these guys I haven't heard of. So we got the 7th inning stretch. Stangy will be the 4th Red Sox pitcher today, and he will face Paul Blair to lead things off. He's 3 for 3, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs. Good day for Paul Blair. So 6 is patient, 42 on patient against a righty is a single. That would be, so we got everybody advances 1 base, so that will be a possible infield hit, and he's a 2 and he runs an 8, so that's exactly what it is. So Blair hits a dribbler down the third base line. Scott's not able to get there in time. And Paul Blair leads off the 7th with an infield single, his 4th hit of the day. So he's got a 4 lead. We got a 6 there, so he's not going to be able to get a lead. On the faxed action cards, you're supposed to shuffle those every 3 innings. But because I only use those for rare things, I don't feel like that's necessary. If I was using it for the dice rolls, I would. But, with me using it no more than I do, I just I've got a big old pile of them here. So I just kind of go as they go for, what I'm using them for. All right, so Frank Robinson is up next. He's 0 for 3 today, so the only hit he has is a home run he hit last game so far this season. Got a 4, which is tough, 86. That's a ground ball to shortstop. His error rating is 6. Stange's is 10, so a 6 or less is a double play. And he gets an 8, so that's going to be a fielder's choice. So Petrocelli is able to get Blair at second, but not able to get Frank Robinson. Scooting down the line. So Robinson is on first base with 1 out. He's a 4B, and we got an 8 there, so that's not enough to get a lead. Boog Powell is 0 for 3 today. 11 is tough. 16 versus the righty, and he strikes out looking. So Stangy paints the corner. It's Powell looking for the 2nd out of the inning. And Brooks Robinson, who is 0 for 3, has flied out 3 times. Four is tough. 65 on tough. Mr. Righty. is going to be a ground ball to second base. Andrews shags it, throws it on to first. And the Orioles aren't able to capitalize on the leadoff single by Blair. We go to the top of the 8th. Matt Cuellar's pitching a heck of a game. Lost his shutout, but still, so far the Red Sox have only able to manage 1 run on 5 base hits. So Jerry Moses, who came in to catch, will lead off here. He struck out looking his first at bat. 5 is tough. 0-8 against a lefty, and that will be strikeout looking again. Cuellar fooled him on that one. There's 1 out in the top of the 8th. Reggie Smith tripled and scored in the 6th. He's 1 for 3. 4 is patient. 58 against a lefty. That will be a single. And he bloops it into right field. So Reggie Smith goes the opposite way, hits it in front of Frank Robinson. Reggie Smith is off to a fantastic start in the season. He's 2 for 4 today, had 3 hits in the first game. So he's a 4D. So he can get a lead here if he wants, but I don't think them being that far down that they want to risk it. So Mike Andrews is singled and reached on an error. So 4 is patient. 20, and he walks. That's just the first walk issued today by Mike Cuellar. His control has been very good. The Red Sox got a little rally going here in the 8th. So this is Cuellar's fatigue inning. So if he gives up 3 runs, he will be fatigued. So Carl Yastrzemski looking to put a dent in the Baltimore 5-run lead. So for 3 so far today. So 11 is ballpark. 52. Yastrzemski's a lefty. So you can see 52 falls in the in-play range. So in play versus lefties. 59 will be in the out range. So that's a fly ball to left field. Buford reaches up and grabs it, and there is 2 away. So Carl Yastrzemski's not able to get into Cuellar here. So it's up to Ken Harrelson, who has flied out 3 times. Auditioning for Cleveland. 10 is patient. 43 against the lefty is out of range. 43 will be a ground ball to third base, and he'll go to second with it. And Cuellar is out of the inning. No runs on a hit, no errors, and 2 runners left on. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Still 6-1. Baltimore. All right, so Stangy. This will be his 3rd inning. He's pitched 2 so far, so he's a long relief, so he's still good for an inning or 3 runs. And Ellie Hendricks, left-handed catcher, will lead things off. So that's a 9. That's in play. 72 will be in the out, so he flies out to Reggie Smith. 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. Davy Johnson's 1 for 3, a single and a run scored. That's a 9. That's in play. 6 against the righty, and that's going to be a double. Line drive into the alley in left center field, and it will go to the wall. Davy Johnson chugs around first and into second, standing up. So that will be John Davy's first double of the season. Oop. Need black for that. Dave Johnson. First double of the year. So Mark Bellinger, who's 2 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored. Let's see, he's got a 9, he's a 3, but I don't think he's going to try to steal third. So let's see what Bellinger can do. 8 is tough. Okay, we got the 30, but his wild pitch is only 30, not 35, so there is no wild pitch. So anyway, 8 is tough, 35 on tough against the righty, and he is going to single. So there's 1 out. Okay, so this is 1 base, so that's going to be an infield hit opportunity. And he runs 7, and I got a 5, so that's exactly what it is. So Bellinger hits an infield single, advances Johnson to third. And Baltimore has runners on the corners with 1 out. I'm going to let Cuellar hit here. The Red Sox are at double play depth, looking to get the inning-ending double play. Ooh, wheelhouse for Cuellar, but got an 81. And 81 is a ground ball to shortstop. He's a 9. He's a 10. Double play, so 9 or less. Double play. And Cuellar hits into an ending 6-4-3 double play. So you got to say the Red Sox bullpen has done very well. They have shut out the Orioles, but unfortunately they've not been able to get to Cuellar. So no runs on 2 base hits, no errors, 1 runner left. We go to the top of the ninth to see if Mike Cuellar can get the complete game. He will start off against Tony Conigliero, who has doubled in 3 at-bats. So it's a 7, so that's a tough out. So that's going to be an out no matter what. So tough 30, but it is in his strikeout. It's odd, so he struck him out looking. So he fools Conigliero for his 4th strikeout of the game. But this Oriole pitching staff is very good. It's going to be fun watching them pitch all year. These guys are just really good. And the bullpen's not bad either. George Scott's 2 for 3. 12 is a wheelhouse. 31 against the lefty, and it is gone. So double, a line drive into the alley. So Scott hits it to left center field. Buford racing back, looking up, and it is gone. So George Scott hits his first home run of the year. And the Red Sox are down 6-2. His first homer. 1 RBI. So with 1 out, Rico Petrocelli, who is 0 for 3 today. So 10 is patient, 16, and that's going to be a walk. So Cuellar, it's his 2nd walk of the game. He's having a little trouble closing the deal here. So the pitcher is due up. So Sting, he will be pinch hit for. He's done his job today. So they will be bringing in, let's see, who do they have here? Let's go with George Thomas. A pinch hit. He had a pitched hit and had a hit in game number 1. So George Thomas, that's right. Oop. He's black, not blue. Pinch hit. So Petrocelli is on. He didn't get a lead, but I think he would hold out there anyway. So let's see what George Thomas here can do. 5 is tough. 84. Ooh, just missed it. 76 would have been a hit. So 84 is a ground ball to shortstop. 7 is a double play that ends the game. And 7 it is. So the pinch hitter George Thomas hits into a 6-4-3 double play. And that will do. That's the game. So Baltimore goes to 2-0. Boston falls to 0-2. Mike Cuellar gets the win. Ray Culp the loss. The MVP is obviously Paul Blair with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs. So hope you enjoyed that. I know I did. I will probably be doing a few of these games. Like I said, I'm doing the 69 Reds so I could have the National League and then the 69 Orioles. So it should be a really fun season. I've been wanting to do 69 for a long time. It's kind of been one of my big projects. So this is definitely, replaying 2 teams for a full season is definitely a big project. So I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.